My parents knew from very early age that I was very musically inclined.
Did they put you in music classes? Did you have a singing teacher?
Thing
Did
is
they
that
teach you?
No one has his voice except for me.
How did you make the decision to do something like that? Because that's not the same thing.
I wanted people to know me as me. As
Of
Aditya.
course, yeah. One season, 17 years later, here we are.
I really thought I was very bad at it.
What?
Like the first few episodes, I did not enjoy watching myself at all. My father was my biggest troll. Mr. Bansali is a genius. Paisa!
I have bills to pay. I'm sure you were like, wait, what?
Listen, you know, this world is very random. A.R. Rahman sir called me for Dil Bechara. And I get into that. I'm like, alpha male, testosterone, beard.
Well, because like with Tattad Tattad, you were a part of that process.
So I was
that's different.
I knew Tattad Tattad is actually something that I had manifested into my life because I had heard that song and I was like, I know this song is going to be a hit.
What's up, Bolly stars? My name is Shiksha Maitani, aka Bollygirl. Welcome to Buck with Bollygirl. Today's guest is a singer, an actor, and a host. You might know him from many years of hosting on reality Indian TV or singing some of your favorite songs on, say, Ram Leela or Shamsheda. Please join me in welcoming the one, the only, Aditya Narayan. Thank you so much for being with us here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
So I want to start off just by asking, you've done so much playback singing, hosting, acting. Was it always the plan to be in show business or did you just kind of fall into it?
For as long as I know, I've always been musically inclined. I mean, my mom tells me because I obviously have no memory from the time that I was a year old. But right about the time where people start learning how to talk, I was learning how to talk and trying to sing simultaneously.
Okay.
Yeah. My father's first successful Hindi film soundtrack had just released for Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. So I'm born in August 87. That's around about the time where Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak's soundtrack released. And then the film eventually released in 88, which is when I heard the album and then I would always try and sing the songs from the album.
Okay.
In Hindi, it's called Totlana. What do you call it in English? I don't know. It's not stammering. It's Totlana. I mean, that's how you explain it. It's
Totlana?
Like instead of Papa Kehte, I would like try and sing Tattad Tattad.
Okay.
You know, like that's the earliest memory my mom has of me wanting to sing. I always accompanied my parents for their recordings. For people that don't know, my mom's also a very wonderful singer. She used to be an air hostess when I was born, but my parents actually met through a recording.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's actually a very, very wonderful artist herself.
Wow.
And she sung a lot of beautiful regional songs.
Oh.
So whenever I would accompany them for recordings, I would come back home and sing the entire song back to the other parent.
After you saw what they'd done?
Yeah, after I'd heard everything. With the music pieces and everything, like I would play all the musical parts vocally. So my parents knew from very early age that I was very musically inclined. And I always enjoyed music. So music is the one thing that nobody had to force me to do. You know, nobody had to force me to learn music or to learn songs or to learn lyrics. And I mean, I don't know if you believe in the concept of reincarnation, but at a very young age, I had the skill set that, you know, not a lot of people possess at that age. The ability to understand music was always there, and it was beyond my years. That's something that I've always felt myself. I'm one of the very few musicians who doesn't have to look at a lyric sheet when he sings the song. I just memorize the song.
Wow, that's really cool.
But that's not the case with my studies. That never happened with my studies. That I would look at a piece of paper and I'm like, yes, I know this page now. You just write it. It's exclusively for music.
It's like specific to music.
It's very specific, yes.
That's interesting.
I know. So there are a few things that made my parents and myself eventually realize that I had extreme fondness for the arts, especially music.
That's really, really cool. Yeah. So when in that situation, because you're saying your mom was obviously very musically inclined as well, your father's Udit Narayan, living legend, that kind of a household, were you learning, did they put you in music classes? Did you have a singing teacher?
Thing
Did
is
they
that-
teach you? You know?
They definitely taught me through their DNA. I mean, whatever I
Right.
have. In fact, one thing that I feel very, very grateful for is my father's DNA, because that's the only reason that I have his voice. No one has his voice except for me and him,
Yeah.
of course.
He's
couldn't
passed it down to you.
Yeah, so that's something that I feel
Yeah.
very, very fortunate about,
That's really
because
cool.
I mean, I can acquire all the skills that I want.
But you have
but the voice is
that
the voice. You
talent,
can't
yeah.
really. I mean, you can modulate your voice, but you can't really change it.
So as a kid, you
Yeah.
know, you started acting as well. You
Yeah.
were acting with Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, other great actors in the
Yeah.
industry. What kind of pressure was there on you living in a household that you were living in, doing those kind of jobs?
You know, honestly, the perception of the life that I've had versus the life that I've actually had, they're very different. My father became the raging success that he is eventually.
Right.
He is now the
Right.
living legend,
Right.
you know, Padma Bhushan, Udit Narayan. But in the year 1987, you know, we were a very humble family. My mum was the bread earner. My father really didn't have a job. Before he got married to mum, he was sharing a room with 6 other men. And he had been in Mumbai for just about a decade. And nothing had really materialized professionally. I mean, he'd sung a few songs. No
Right.
one
Very different situation.
very
for
different
him.
situation,
Yeah.
yes. And I mean, my mom still comes from a middle class family. You know, my grandfather is a DIG back in Kalimpong in West Bengal. But my father had no kind of, he comes from a very, very humble background. My grandfather used to be a farmer
Yeah.
back in the village. So there was no safety net. He was very, very nervous when I was born because he could barely feed himself. So
That's crazy.
he had no
Yeah.
idea how he's going to, like, how my parents were going to raise me and
Yeah.
all of those things. And for the first 7 years of our lives, we've actually stayed at mom's house. So my father didn't have a house. And my mom had barely taken a loan from like 4 or 5 of her friends and bought a small 1-bedroom in Kalina. So growing up, I didn't grow up in a superstar or a legend. I barely grew up in a house. I didn't have a room of my own. I used to say, I mean, we had a small, I don't know, like my entire house must be half the size of my hall now. And there was 1 bedroom, and there was a very small hall, and there was a 2-seater sofa in that hall. And that's where I used to sleep for 7 years.
Wow.
So
okay.
that's the kind of upbringing I've had. You know, people think I was
No,
probably
it's
born.
interesting to know that. But he did get a significant level of fame.
Oh yes,
when
of course.
you were still a child.
Yes, but the thing is that we never really realized what was happening with us because we were just kind of going with the flow. We had no idea where we were headed, you know, because you know, you can't really predict
Of course
where
not,
a person's going to, you know, reach eventually. So we were just happy that, you know, our family was seeing some kind of success, and my father could finally afford a house of his own. I think I was 8 years old when we finally moved into a home. And beyond that is where I started feeling a few changes, you know, in life. But also by the time that had happened, I had started working myself. So
Acting.
yeah, I started
And
singing,
singing as well.
acting professionally. My
Yeah.
first 2 songs released in 95. So it's been 27 years.
That must have been a really cool feeling too,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
In that
for sure.
moment to be, what, 8 years old, you said?
Yeah, I think I was
That moment?
7. So firstly, I was too young to realize everything that was going on
Yeah.
around
okay.
me. You know, it's a bit
Yeah.
too much for a 7-year-old to grasp all these things, you know.
Yeah.
Your father's career and you know what,
You're
where
just
you're coming.
living life.
You're just living life,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, I was busy being a child. I was inquisitive. I was enjoying just being a kid. And
Yeah.
I used to accompany my parents for shows. And whenever I'd feel like I'd just jump on stage, I'd snatch the mic from whoever was on stage and I'd start
It's my
singing.
turn.
Yeah, and no one really seemed to mind because I don't think anyone had dealt with a crazy 6-year-old like me before. So they were just like, this is unprecedented. This never happened.
so funny.
Let's let the kid do whatever he wants to do.
Oh, God.
So I really I'm very appreciative of all my seniors that they just let me have my moment
Yeah.
during their professional outings. And then eventually I started singing for, in fact, it all started with me joining Kalyanji Bhai. So Kalyanji Anandji Bhai, of course, the living legends, one of of the finest composers, composer duos. Kalyanji used to have this group called Little Wonders, where he would provide a platform to very, very young talent, like kids. And every couple of weeks or so, we used to have these shows all over India. It ranged from singers to actors to people playing instruments to dancers.
You were exposed to a lot, basically, at that age.
Yeah,
then.
and in fact, Sunidhi Chauhan was also a part of
Oh.
Little Wonders. So we've been friends since I was 5 and she was 9.
Wow.
Yeah, so now
That's crazy.
So that's where I met
Did you feel a lot of pressure from your parents? Because I think it's part of the Indian culture as well, right? Like a lot of pressure. And you know.
No, I would say it was no different from any other kid. So
Like if I
it
got a
was the norm.
98 on a
Yeah,
test,
yeah.
why didn't you get 100?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
just those little things
Yeah.
that other people wouldn't necessarily, growing up in the US, wouldn't understand. So,
Mom was a little more, I would say, easygoing.
okay.
My father, obviously, he's earned everything the hard way. You know, he's
Yeah,
got
of
everything
course,
the
yeah.
hard way. So he knew what it takes. He knew
Yeah.
how much it takes. So in a way, very early on in my life, he kind of sensed that this is something that I would also be keen on pursuing.
Yeah,
So
right,
he
that's
was
what you were
never
saying.
playful about it. Yeah. So he never looked at it as an activity.
It could never be a hobby, basically.
Yeah, I really appreciate where he's coming from and what he did, because, you know, I'd rather have my friend call me a fool than, 10 other people that don't know me come up to me like, hey, you're a fool, man.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
get it.
it's better. I don't know how to explain it,
Oh, I
but
get
it's
it,
better.
yeah.
So that constructive. My father was my biggest troll.
Wait, I love that.
He was the comment section when there was no comment section. So he would
Oh,
never
God.
talk about the good in my in whatever I did.
Yeah.
And for a while it did bother me. I was like, am I doing nothing right? But then, I was winning all these first prizes, and I was doing good work.
Right.
So eventually you realize that
Oh, wait, I'm good.
that
Yeah.
everyone else is doing the praising.
Yeah.
So this one gentleman who happens to be my father has taken it upon himself
Yeah.
to be Twitter.
Oh my God.
And I love him for it. I think I'm indifferent to trolls because of that. And I think he is indifferent to, whoever he's indifferent to because of all the struggles and hardships that he has faced. So the one thing that I learned from him was that it's never easy. It's never easy. Everyone thinks that the grass is always greener on the
Of
other
course,
side,
yeah.
So if you're an outsider, you're like, oh my God, I wish I was not I was an insider, and maybe like my father or my mother would have helped me in my career. But the one thing that no one can escape is the work. There's a saying that success is never owned, it is rented, and rent is due every day.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I would like to, transition though to your work on. You worked with Sanjay Leela Bhansali as an assistant
Yeah.
director. That's very different to everything that we've already been talking about with the singing and the acting and the
Yeah.
hosting. This is a different area in entertainment,
Yeah.
right? What was that experience like for you? Working with somebody like Sanjay Leela Bhansali? And you sang 2 songs from the movie too.
Yes, I did.
Right?
So it just happened,
That movie was very grand.
Oh yes, I mean that's every film of Miss
Every
Bhansali's,
film
yeah.
is very grand.
I think the entire nation and Indians and from all over the world, we love Mr. Bhansali and his films.
Yeah.
We love what he does and how he celebrates Indian culture. I've always been a very big fan of his movies, and what sets him apart from everyone else is that music and choreography play a very, very important part.
Yeah.
In all his movies. He directs musicals. It was my deepest desire to associate with him in any way possible.
Okay.
I was ready to mop the floor of his sets if that's what it took.
Okay.
I just wanted to be a part of
His project.
his
yeah.
project, like
Yeah.
in any way possible. In fact, not a lot of people know that he was actually supposed to launch me. He was supposed to launch Alia and me in a film called BakBakW.
Oh.
Which never materialized. He was making this after Savari. I think I was 17.
Oh.
Alia was 12. And it never worked out. So that's
Yeah.
my first tryst with Mr. Bhansali. That's the first time I met him. Then we did a reality show together actually. So
Okay.
there was a show called X Factor.
Yeah.
We had a season of X Factor in India back in 2011.
Okay.
He was one of the judges. And sometime during that show, I expressed my desire to kind of assist him in whatever way possible. And he just laughed it off because, I had my own career and I was doing well for myself. I was making money. I was hosting shows, singing songs. So he was like, it's not happening, man.
Oh my God. So you just walked away like, oh, okay.
So I didn't know how to kind of make him realize that I was serious. So I just started showing up to his office.
Oh, okay.
So I just showed up one day, and then every day I used to go to his office and I used to read a novel, and he used to give me no work, thinking now next day is not going to come.
Yeah.
This is it's just a few days and he's gonna go home. But then beyond, I think 4 or 5 days, he was like, maybe he really wants to do this.
Yeah.
I may have been his most useless film assistant in the history of all the films he's made. But when it came to music, I thought there was a bit of a contribution there.
Yes.
So
Your music was amazing.
So that, thank you. So that's something that I knew. I don't know how much help I will be for him when it comes to his film sets, but like when it comes to music, I could.
And that shows the perseverance that you were talking about, right? The hard work and things that people don't really know.
Yeah.
From behind the
So
scenes.
thankfully he realized beyond a week that I think he wants to assist me really, and then he started giving me little work. And then I was his AD for a year and a half on Ram Leela.
That's cool.
And I've done everything from giving claps to calling artists to controlling crowds to costumes.
Was it as glamorous as you anticipated to be on
I
the
never
set?
anticipated to be glamorous, and it wasn't, and it was a lot of work.
Of course.
Mr. Bansali is a genius. Like he's, as a filmmaker, they don't make them like him anymore. And the most important reason I wanted to assist him was because music played such an important part of his films, and the way that he shot his songs. I mean, we've seen all the other songs in other movies, but I don't know, they just don't hit
There's
you.
something about
there's something
it.
about it. And then I realized that it takes a lot of time to shoot those songs.
So that's why.
The kind of, the amount of time he gives, I don't think other producers will allow other directors to kind of indulge the way that he is given the freedom to. Tattad Tattad, the song that I sang, was shot over 11 days.
11 days.
11 days. By the 9th day, I was like, let's finish this song, guys. Why is it taking so long? And I remember the third or fourth day of shoot, we had over 1,000 members present because I was doing costumes and, you know, food and beverages. Okay. So I was kind of doing a head count of how many people are present on set, and it was about over 1,000 people. 1,000 working members for one song over 10 days. And then the director happens to be Mr. Bansali. So how is the song not going to look good? There is no way. People shoot a film in 10 days. So yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I've worked on sets in LA.
Yeah.
And we've had background up to 200, and it's crazy.
1,000 people. So I knew that is an experience that cannot be replicated anywhere else. It is only on an SLB film set that you will experience the magnitude at which he makes these films and mounts all these songs. And in fact, not a lot of people know that I've also sung chorus on all songs of Ram Leela.
Oh.
So
okay, you on all of them.
On all songs.
Oh,
I've sung chorus on Lal Ishq.
Okay, yeah.
Lal Ishq, ye Lal Ishq. One of the voices is me. Nagada sang dhol baje. Li li le mdi re lilo nagadvel no chod. That is also me, one of the voices in the chorus. Lahu mulag gaya.
Yeah.
Patak rahi hai aankh ye malang ang. That is also me, one of the voices. All the songs, like I mean it. Like Bala Mori Rama was one of the film songs which me and Kirti have sung. And then there's Ishkyao Dishkyao and Tattad Tattad. So yeah, like pretty much the entire album has.
And that entire album was incredible.
Yes, so
it just became really big, honestly.
It was a rage.
Yeah.
Yes, touch wood.
And now even till today, people are dancing to like Nagada and every song from that movie, actually.
It just also the thing is that you know, a couple of films that Sir had made hadn't really got the kind of response that films like Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam or Devdas got, because they were also slightly different movies. They were little, I think the next three movies after Khamoshi, Hum Dil and Devdas were a little more West inspired.
Right.
You know, with Black and Sawariya and Guzarish.
Yeah.
So with Ram Leela, he came back to his Desi, Gujarati, Indian roots, and everybody went ape. So I'm very glad that.
And he stayed there.
And he stayed there, and he's going to stay there, and nobody does it like he does it, you know. Yeah. And I feel very, very privileged and honored to have been a part of his films. And the child in me was so happy because I've heard my father sing for him, and I've seen grown up listening to watching Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam and Chand Chupa and Salman and Aishwarya, and I was like, wow, what a director. And then few
And then
years later,
yeah,
I was giving the clap on a song that I've sung for an SLB film. So yeah,
That's so cool.
sometimes it all feels surreal.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you recently worked on Shamshera.
Yes.
What was that process and experience like in comparison?
It was great. I mean, I'm going to be very honest and tell you this because sometimes people wonder why I continued doing television for so long. They're like, why are you doing TV for 17 years? I mean, of course, people love me as a host now. I'm one of the most loved
Why? What do you mean
television
why
hosts.
though? Because like look at Ellen.
Yeah, but
know?
no one's really done it in India for so long,
Yeah,
So
that's true.
It's like I said, I've seen an entire generation. Also, one of the reasons being that I've always been very vocal about my love for music, and music being my first love
Right.
always. So people like, then why are you not pursuing
That, and why are you
film
hosting?
music, or and why are you focusing more on hosting? To which I would like to tell everyone that post Ram Leela, there was actually a phase in life where I was not offered any songs in Bollywood projects. And the song was a smash hit. B, the film was a smash hit. And C, it was a solo song, so it's not like I was sharing credits
Talking about Tattad
Tattad
Tattad.
Tattad along with anybody else. So you could say I was borderline overconfident that ek gana to mil jayega, that I will get at least one opportunity after giving such a big hit, and
Yeah.
such a big directors. And Ranveer, of course, it happens to be Ranveer's biggest song up until that point at least, and still one of his biggest songs. So I was fairly, I would say, confident that someone's going to offer me some work.
Yeah.
And it's not like I sat at home and be like, work will come to me. I went to people, I went to composers.
Like, come on.
Yeah, so like, I'm going to manifest a song
Yes.
sitting at home. No, that's not how it happened. I just, I don't enjoy everyone's music. I respect everyone as musicians, but
Right.
like whichever composers or composer duos that I was fond of, whose music I was fond of, or who I wanted to work with, I went to them after my songs in Ram Leela released, and I was like, can we work together? And
Yeah.
sir, it would be great if you would give me an opportunity to kind of
Yeah.
go behind the mic for one of your songs. But nothing materialized. And
Interesting.
I had high hopes for about 6 months. But when you're living out those 6 months, see, right now I'm saying 6 months and it passes on like
No,
a
but in that
second.
moment.
In that moment, it felt
Yeah.
like I was getting old. Like I was graying, my hair was graying. I was like, मैं बुढ़ा हो रहा हूँ. No opportunities.
Where's the cane?
Where's the cane? Yeah. But yeah, in all seriousness, I was very worried because I really thought that this would be my breakthrough moment, and
And you have something to show.
I have, I had something to show, and I had also started producing independent music and independent content and music videos. So it was not that I was just going with them with this one hit song that I have. I used to play them my demos and like whatever stuff that was about to release, and nobody gave me any work. So
it almost got harder for you.
it got harder for me. So that was something that I did not expect. And by then I'd bought my own house. I had bills to pay. I was 25. So I was like, something needs to happen now because this bill is not going to pay itself. Also, I've always been very self-reliant. Like, I know my father is my father. And I'm very proud of him. We're all very proud of him. But I've never kept that feeling along with me that, hey, I am Udit ji's son.
Right.
And now this is how I'm going to approach life.
Yeah.
I've approached life like I'm just
Like, I'm Aditya.
Yeah, I'm just me. Like,
And I'm gonna
just
do
like
my own thing. Yeah.
This gentleman or you or me, like that's how I approached my life. So I felt like I was too old to ask my dad, be like, this month I'm not being able to pay my EMI. Can you give me some money? So I was like, what am I gonna do now? Because there's no songs coming in my way. Thankfully, some live shows lined up because the song did really well. So I started making some money on the side.
Okay.
But that wasn't enough to kind of.
No, yeah. And this is what people don't realize when they say, oh, insider, oh, this, that,
Yeah.
This is like, no, it's grind. You have to work.
I feel like you're an insider till you're an adult. After that, even your parents are like, boss, We have taken care of you. And now we do not.
You're on your own.
Please, 21 years is a long time.
Yeah.
You're well educated. Go take care of yourself.
Like,
And
okay.
my parents are more that way because they themselves, they've lived life like they've worked hard and whatever
Right.
they've achieved is through their hard work and
Yeah.
whatever they've done. So
So it was your turn.
so it wasn't any different for me.
Yeah.
So I was almost like kind of embarrassed to ask my father.
Yeah.
I'm like, almost 26 now. I need 3 lakh rupees EMI. I was like, forget it. What do we do now? So that was the time where a few television producers kind of expressed an interest to have me back on Indian television because I'd taken a breather because I was assisting on Ram Leela.
Right, of course.
Yeah, the money was all right. And to be very honest, my second stint on television was only because I had no work when it came to my music. And I had bills to pay.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I was passionate about doing television and I'm going to make a difference and I'm going to revolutionize the TV industry. There was no such thought. I was like, paisa.
I have bills to pay.
Money. Yeah, so that's how TV happened. And also, like, my second stint on television also happened to be successful. So beyond a season or two, I realized that here is an industry that is giving me work, that is paying me well, and that apparently likes me. So, they say either love what you do or do what you love. Since, television was giving me the cushioning that I required at that time, and believe me, I did require that
And you were
cushioning.
staying relevant,
Yes,
right?
I was staying relevant.
Yeah.
There is a saying in Hindi, bolte hain, jungle mein mor nacha kisne dekha, which in English translates to a peacock was dancing in a jungle. Who saw the peacock? So that's precisely how talent works.
Yeah.
You may be the most talented person in the world, but if you're displaying your talents within the confines of the four walls of your home,
Then,
you're not really doing anything for yourself. But if you're doing it in front of people, something may materialize out of it. And so that is, in God's honest truth, that's how my second stint on television happened. And that is when I started, because when something gives you respect, you give that respect threefold, tenfold back.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Absolutely.
That's how it works
Yeah.
in life. You show some gratitude. So I showed my gratitude to television, and I said that since this is currently the only industry that is valuing me and is giving me the platform and the opportunities that I require, I should become the best version of myself that I could. And then I really put my head and heart into it, and by the grace of God,
and you were
all
still
know.
surrounded by music and...
Yes, of course.
So,
And I was still predominantly doing music reality shows.
Exactly.
I was meeting people, and trust me, a lot of stuff has happened through these reality shows. I remember the first time A.R. Rahman sir called me for Dil Bechara, which was Sushant and Sanjana's film.
Yes.
He actually called me because he had heard one of my English covers that I had put on my YouTube channel. I had done a cover of Bruno Mars's Locked Out of Heaven.
Oh my God.
Which only has, I think, I don't know, it has probably less than 100,000 views. It's not even one of my most viewed covers. But it just so happens that one of the people that was watching that cover on YouTube happened to be Rahman sir. And then he met me during the shoot of one of my reality shows where he came to promote a film of his because he didn't have my number and he was out of town and he had just come back in and he was like, hey, I really liked your cover that you did and you should do more such stuff. And
I'm sure you were like, wait, what? What?
Listen, this world is very random. Life is very random. Sometimes, it's crazy how things work. But what I'm trying to say is that all of these things were only possible because I put myself out there. I didn't think anything would come out of me doing YouTube covers. I swear to God, I had no idea that someone, so that two-time Grammy winner, two-time Academy Award winner, Rahman sir on YouTube, like, hey, let's see what Aditya Narayan cover is all about.
Bruno Mars,
But that's how it happens. So even I got the opportunity to sing for Himesh ji through these music reality shows. He always knew I could sing well, but then he's a judge on most of these shows, so he heard me sing and he was like, hey man, come to the studio. Same thing happened with Vishal Shekhar. Same thing happened with Mithun. He called me for Shamshera because he had heard some clip that I think one clip of mine had gone viral during lockdown. From Indian Idol. What song had I sung? Tip Tip Barsa. Yeah, he's nodding. He's seen it. Yeah, so, he called me because he saw a random clip of me at some reality show, and then so things just happen, you know. Like
Wow.
anybody who's trying to make a mark in life, just put yourself out there, man.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing to do is just keep doing.
Just keep putting it out
Just
there.
keep putting it out.
So reality
Just
TV helped you in that way.
Try till you die. So Shamshera happened like that. I remember I'd just come back from my honeymoon, which is I think December 2020.
Okay.
And Mithun Bhai called me to his studio and he said he has some song for me. And generally Mithun Bhai is known for his love ballads. So I was like, yay, I'm gonna get to sing a love song.
Yeah.
And I go
Just
into
came back from your honeymoon.
yeah, and
It's
I was like,
perfect.
yeah, great. I went to his studio and like, then I get into that. And I'm like, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
So I remember I had a torn calf when I went in for that recording.
Okay.
Because I got overexcited during my honeymoon. Not the way you think.
Yeah.
But we went to Gulmarg, which is a skiing destination.
Okay.
So we ended up skiing more than I could take.
Okay.
And other things also happened, but primarily it was because of the skiing. I remember I was very disillusioned throughout that entire recording, and it was the first time Mithun Bhai had called me, so I didn't want to tell him that, hey bro, like, you know,
Yeah.
I've just come from my honeymoon, my calf is torn, so, you know, like, he'd
Yeah.
be like, it's not my problem, bro. You know? So I did my best that day, and we kind of created a structure. I remember the chorus and all the harmonies and like all the other voicings also that you hear in the soundtrack are chorus singers as well as me. So I've done a
Okay.
lot of layerings.
So you were very much part of the process of
Yeah,
creating
yeah,
the
yeah.
entire track.
But then I thought that I didn't have a good day in the studio. So when I came back from that recording, I was pretty much convinced that someone else is going to sing this song eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was in pain, I was in a daze,
Right,
and
yeah.
you know, like it's a very powerful song. You know, it's like
It is, yeah.
it's like alpha male, testosterone,
It is.
beard,
Yeah.
beer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was that
Not a love ballad.
macho. You know, like
Yeah.
chest hair, smell my armpits. So it needed that whole kind of raw, and it was set in the late 1800s or something. So I wasn't very sure that I gave it the power that was required.
Right.
And then I forgot about it. And I knew which film I was singing for.
Okay.
Because I'd heard of this film called Shamshera being, you know, in production, and I knew Mithun was doing the
Okay.
song for it. And by the lyrics and everything, I kind of gauged that the song that I was singing was for the film Shamshera. Cut to, I think, this year, there was, I think, 10 days left for the trailer launch. And people were, again, talking about Shamshera, Shamshera, Shamshera.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, I remember I had sung a few lines. And
10 days to the movie and you...
and I had no idea what is going to happen. And then 7 days, or 5 days, correct. 5 days before the trailer launch, I get a call from Mithun Bhai's studio. And they said, hey, Aditya, can you come to the studio? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I had completely kind of given up on this. I was like, this is a fresh opportunity that I'm getting. My calf is good. I will sing this one well.
I'm
This
ready
one
for
is
this.
definitely a love ballad. And then I go to the studio, and it was the same song, and I haven't felt more relieved than I felt that day. Because I knew, as soon as he played me that song back, I knew that now this song is not going anywhere, because A, my calf was great, B, my honeymoon, it's been a while since my honeymoon was done. I had a
Yeah.
baby by then.
Okay.
So Tusha was already born by
Yeah.
then. I had just gone to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
I was fully pumped up.
You were ready for it.
Serotonin, dopamine, testosterone, it was all like raging. It was all in there. So it was the right frame of mind. I was mentally and physically like at 101. If I
Oh
needed to
my
be at
God.
100, I was like, this song is not going anywhere.
Trying to imagine you walking in like, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that, yeah. And also, the last time that I had gone in for that recording, it was the first ever time I had gone into a studio to sing for someone and I wasn't satisfied with what I had done. It had never happened in my life. I have always come out of the studio saying, I've given it my best. I couldn't have done any better.
Okay.
But that day, I had come out of the studio saying, I could have done better. So
Yeah.
this was God saying, you are my favorite child. Come, redeem yourself. And that's what happened. And I remember I took
amazing.
6 hours to sing that song because I wanted every line to be perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, I took lunch break, I took snacks break, I took water break, I took one, I don't know, like spiritual break. I probably
How
meditated.
do you get into that frame of mind?
So I would say that my default frame of mind is aggressive.
Okay.
I have more energy than required for the day. So this is kind of my default mode, like singing a song like Tattad Tattad or Ji Huzoor is right up my alley because it requires you to be uninhibited, raw. It needs a little bit of that testosterone.
Yeah. Would you mind singing a little bit of Ji Huzoor?
ठोको सलाम ठोको अरे सुबह शाम ठोको देखो आया कलंदर रोको ना खुद को रोको हम चोरों से चोरी है करते जरूर अरे रफ्ता 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 भरे अपना फितूर. So it has the dynamics where you go like fully aggressive.
Yeah, it's like,
and then there is a little bit of a flamboyant, playful side too. And then there's the...
but you don't even see the film, right? You're not seeing what's happening, obviously, because they haven't filmed it yet
Yeah.
before you sing it.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine everything that's going to happen.
Yeah.
When you sing these songs, that's a lot. That's a lot for a singer.
It's fun though, it's fun. I'd rather have me imagine the song than somebody play the visuals to me while I'm singing.
Have you ever watched it later and been like, oh, okay, you know?
So I was very impressed when I saw how Ji Huzoor was picturized.
Okay.
Because I was like, you know, this is a banger.
Yeah.
And
Well, because like with Tattad Tattad, you were part of that process.
So I was
that's different.
I knew that it was gonna.
Yeah.
Tattad Tattad is actually something that I had manifested into my life because I'd heard that song, and I was like, I know this song is going to be a hit. Whoever sings this song is going to have a hit song under his belt. I hope it's me, and then it happened to be me.
That's funny.
With Ji Huzoor, I didn't know how they picturized it, what's going to go on, and then I saw the picturization. I was like, wow. And Ranbir is, I mean, he's one of the finest actors that we have. I think Ranveer Singh and Ranbir Kapoor are my favorite actors currently.
Okay.
They're the most all-around
Yeah.
performers that we have, and they put their heart and soul into everything. And there was a certain madness that Ranbir Kapoor brought to the visuals.
Yeah.
And
He was great.
And I feel like artists have to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
There has to be a little bit of cuckoo in an artist. I'll tell you the funniest incident. We went to promote Shamshera's album in Chandigarh. We performed the entire album at Chandigarh University.
Okay.
And this is how much I am in my own world, ladies and gentlemen. I was on stage. I was the first song because we were going in order of the soundtrack. Mithun Bhai was there on stage and I'm singing the whole song. I sang an ad-lib, I sang the whole song. Once the whole song was done, I realized that Ranbir, Vani and Sanjay Dutt are in the first row and they're watching my performance. And I had no idea.
Seriously, you didn't see them?
This is how lost this human being is. They are sitting in the first row. It's not even like they were in some third, fourth, first row. Like the center seats is like Vani, Ranbir, Sanjay sir. And they're all enjoying my performance. I know because I saw it on YouTube. And there I am wearing shades. I'm like, I wish these guys were there to watch me perform. How well they have done.
Congratulations, by the way, on your daughter.
Thank you.
Have you seen any signs of being musically inclined?
Oh, she loves music.
She does?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's definitely musically inclined. She responds differently to music that is played versus music that is like performed, like sung in front of
to her, yeah.
Yeah. I think the only time where I feel like she's 100% focused is when I'm singing. She just,
Aww.
her eyes are locked. She probably forgets to blink and she's just it's like, what is this? What are these sounds this gentleman is making? But yeah, she's like very focused. Like her focus is on 100 when she listens to music.
So the future will tell.
The future will tell, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to let her, like Shweta and me. There are no preconceived, notions that we have about her future. She
Okay.
can be whoever she wants to be. She can do whatever she wants.
If she were to choose music, have
Yeah.
you considered, you mentioned how your father took it very seriously and it couldn't be a hobby earlier. Have you considered you would do something similar or not really?
Whatever she decides to pursue I'm going to be there for her and I'm going to make sure that she learns as much as she can.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to take anything lightly.
Yeah.
And it's a known fact now that children are born geniuses, especially for the first 4 or 5 years. They have an
Absolutely.
exceptional level of grasping anything and everything. Also, the audiences that we have today are much younger. You know, teenagers have access. They choose their own content. When we were young, we kind of depended on our parents to take us to places, to buy us cassettes or CDs, or like take us to shows or events. Now you have
The world is so different.
the world is so different.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has a smartphone. The audiences are much younger. People are starting to work at an early age, be it sports, arts, entertainment, anything that it is.
You've even seen it on Saregama-pa, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the kids
and
coming
this
in.
was 17 years ago, so of course
Yeah,
the demographic has only gotten younger and younger.
Yeah.
So it's not like she has a lot of time.
Yeah. Like,
but
okay, this is what you want to do, let's go.
yeah, so whatever she wants to do, I feel like she should take it seriously, but at the same time, she should have a blast while doing it. No pressure. It's not like I want her to be the best at something or I want her to be number one and nothing else will do. I just want her to do her best.
She still has to enjoy it.
Yes.
Would you mind if we played a little rapid fire?
Go for it. Go for it.
Awesome. Other than your dad, your favorite playback singer in Bollywood?
Kishore Kumar, and I mean, because I should name someone contemporary, definitely Arijit. I think he's a wonderful musician.
Yeah, that he is. A judge you got along with the most while doing Saregama-pa?
I don't know who I got along with, but I didn't get along with Vishal Dadlani.
Okay.
I'm joking. I do mean it. Like, I love the dynamic that me and Vishu sir have.
Huh.
I feel like we are very similar in a lot of ways. And you always kind of feel a certain bond with somebody who's like you or who you are like.
Yeah, there's that connection.
Yeah,
Or, yeah,
that unsaid bond.
yeah.
Yeah, I have that with him.
Most memorable moment in your career, and then in your personal life as well, so separate.
I think it's yet to come in my professional career.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about in your personal life?
My parents saying that they're proud of me getting married, and the one that tops it all is the birth of my daughter.
Sure. When did they say they were proud of you, finally?
My father said it like very recently, I think a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm joking, but it was quite late. My mom has always been proud of me, but yeah, I think more to do with my father saying he's proud of me. I think sometime in my mid-20s is when he was like, I think I'm proud of you. Like, thank you for saying it before the world ended. No, I'm joking, I'm joking. I love that he's a taskmaster. That's what has made him who he is, and it's also shaped me to be who I am and who I will become.
Of course.
Yeah, love him for it.
A song that brings a smile to your face every time.
Pehla nasha, pehla khumar, pehla nasha. I love that song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a great
National love anthem.
one. Yeah. Never gets old. There's another one that you're thinking of?
I'm thinking of an English one. I listen to a lot of English music, so I'm thinking of some English song that always hits the spot for me. I think it's every Dua Lipa song right now. I'm crushing on Dua Lipa.
What?
Please do a single with me.
Yes! Oh man, I want that to happen so
Me
bad.
and Dua Lipa at the Grammys. Wow, that would be amazing.
That would be incredible, actually. 3 must-listen-to songs on your playlist.
Right now, I'm going through this physical transformation phase wherein I'm trying to lose about 7 to 8 kgs,
Okay.
which is I think probably 20 pounds. So there's all these pumped up songs on my playlist.
Okay.
It's all testosterone 2.0. Listening to Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa, the album. So one song from that would be Physical, is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Even though Don't Start Now is kind of like everyone's favorite, but
Yeah, it's
Physical is-
everybody's favorite.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Physical is my favorite.
Okay.
It always happens that my favorite song is never the most popular song in the album. Sacrifice by The Weeknd and the new Post Malone album.
Oh.
Yeah. And was a new Beyonce album, Break My Soul.
Well, you kind of already answered this, but an artist you want to sing with in the future?
Billie Eilish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
It would, no? I love
Yes.
Billie. So I was in America and I watched Billie Eilish live in concert along with Dua and Justin. So they were performing because all their shows had been cancelled because of COVID.
Right.
And so they just happened to be performing in one venue in one city
Okay.
within a span of a week. And
You
so
just went for
I was
all
like,
of them.
VIP ready. Billie Eilish is, I think, one of the most pitch perfect singers that I've heard sing live.
I feel like for me, the pitch perfect singers have always been Indian that I've heard.
No.
No?
No.
That's
I mean, there was an era like my father, Alka ji or Kumar San,
Yeah.
Sonu Bhaiya for that matter. My God, Sonu Nigam ji is
Yeah.
like, oof, excellent
Yeah,
performer.
yeah.
But Billie Eilish she's something.
I haven't seen her live.
You
so
should, you should.
I
You
will.
definitely should. Billie Eilish, I would love to collaborate
Wow.
with.
Favorite Bollywood and Hollywood movies? Like one of each.
There's so many movies. I mean, let's just go with what I can remember off the top of my head.
Huh.
No? Have you seen the movie Bala?
No, oh yes.
It's such a good
yes,
movie.
I've seen Bala, yes.
I love it. So I am someone who loves to laugh.
Yeah,
So Bala really made me laugh.
that was a good
That
movie.
background, no?
Yes,
Every time he
it-
looks in the mirror, he's like.
So when he was balding.
Oh
right?
my God, it's hilarious. And Ayushmann Khurrana is such a good actor.
That's a great choice.
Bala is, I mean, it's not the greatest film ever made.
No, but it's funny.
But it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if you're looking for a good time,
Yeah.
and like along with it being a great film and good performances, please watch Bala. Do yourselves a favor and watch Bala.
Yeah.
It's epic. English movie, one of my favorite movies ever is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think it's a beautiful film. I like these offbeat, strange films, you know. Charlie Kaufman is a very good writer. Have you seen Adaptation?
No.
You haven't
I
seen?
haven't seen Adaptation.
Please shut this interview. Let's watch Adaptation for a couple of hours and then we can continue. Please watch Adaptation.
Okay. Is it really that good?
It's one of the best films I've ever seen.
Okay.
Like, and I've seen a lot of films. I'm a hardcore movie buff.
Okay.
Like, please watch Adaptation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch it on the plane.
No, like watch it, yeah, before you go. Like before you sleep.
Watch
So,
it now.
Watch it now. Can we rent this for you right now?
Adaptation. Okay.
And also Jim Carrey is one of my favorite
Oh
actors.
yeah, he's a true artist.
Have you seen The Making of Man on the Moon on Netflix?
No.
Please watch The Making of Man.
Do you want to make me a list?
I should.
Okay, what's
Yeah.
the best compliment you've ever gotten?
I get a lot of compliments. I don't know which one is the best one that I got.
None of them stand out per se.
Some really ignorant people once said that I am like an upgraded, like a 2.0 version of my father exactly. So I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or whether to kind of sit them down and be like, listen man, there is no upgraded version of my father. He is the upgraded version. Or should I take it as a compliment saying that they were gracious enough
Yeah.
to shower me with an unrealistic compliment so that it would help me become the best version of myself. So that was a compliment that I did not know what to do with.
Okay.
There, you know, like every
Yeah.
time you receive a compliment, like, you know,
Yeah.
she's lying, or like, okay, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I take it as. With this one, I kind
You
of
were
didn't
just
know
like-
what to do with it.
Yeah. You know, speaking of your father, though, your
Yeah.
voice is very similar.
Thanks to him.
It's his.
There is no hard work that was involved for that particular skill.
Yeah. But you know,
I just aged, and it just happened.
it just happened. I just have this voice.
I just have this voice. Yes, that's true.
So, but his voice,
Yeah.
you know, growing up was the voice of Bollywood. I mean, he was all the heroes,
Yes,
you know.
of course. He's still singing for people who are younger than me. It's crazy. He sings his own song remakes. Who does
I
that,
know.
man? You know, there are other singers, younger singers who would like the
Let me
opportunity
do it, hello.
to sing these legendary songs. But
Yeah,
some
actually,
people
you
are-
should have done Tip Tip because it's the remake and.
But what are you going to do when he sounds just as good and probably better than what he did 30 years ago? It's unreal. It's inhuman.
Okay,
You're-
but the question was.
you're superhuman.
The question was, which actor do you think fits the voice the best?
My father?
Yeah, and you, because you know he's done like Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan.
I
all
feel
the-
like his voice suits Shah Rukh Bhai and Amir Bhai also. A lot. All the good looking ones, no? Like really good looking. I mean, you don't have to be, like Shah Rukh Khan is not necessarily good looking, but like when he comes on screen,
He's the
he's
hero,
the most
yeah.
like attractive man that you could ever see.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, I'm talking about these heroic cinematic figures.
Yeah, he's the hero.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hrithik
Shah-
Roshan also. I feel
Yeah.
like my father's voice suits.
But now you're just naming all of them.
No, there are hundreds of actors. I've only named 3 actors in his illustrious 40+ year career.
Okay.
Yeah, so these 3, I feel like. They
So
should-
Shah Rukh, Amir, and Hrithik.
And Hrithik, yes.
Okay, fine.
And with me, I would say, I mean, I've already sung for Ranbir and Ranveer and Sushant. Somebody who haven't sung for and my voice would sound good on would be, I think, Karthik
Oh.
and Varun, for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Siddharth. Siddharth is also
Yeah.
like
Actually, yeah.
that
Yeah.
Punjabi Munda, you know.
Good
like-
looking
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like a song like Rata Lambiya, I think I would
Yeah.
also do a half decent job with it.
Yeah, half decent. You would
I have to be
absolutely
modest,
do.
no?
You would absolutely do a great job on it.
You want people to praise me in the comment section?
Huh.
No?
Okay, fine. Yes.
I'm thinking about your engagement.
Yeah, okay,
You want
fine.
positive engagement.
yes. Yes.
No, but like, yeah, seriously, I feel like these three actors are doing very well right now.
Yeah.
And they are very Bollywood. I feel like Sid, Varun, and Karthik are very Bollywood.
They are.
You
They're
know?
the younger generation.
Yeah, and
Bollywood
they are like
hero.
they're the kind of actors that can mold themselves into doing, like, they can do the song and dance routine, they can do the action bits
Yeah.
and like the intense bits. So they're all
Yeah.
very good, and I haven't sung for them, so
So that's next, basically.
That's next,
Yes.
yes.
And lastly, which song gives you the most nostalgia?
I think the entire soundtrack of Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. It gives me a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
nostalgia. I think that album is very dear to our entire family.
Yeah.
It's the reason we exist, all of us.
Yeah, that was the beginning.
in this
Yeah.
industry. And of course, this industry has given us everything, so we're very grateful to everyone who's given us work ever. But QSQT kind of changed our destinies forever.
That's true.
Yeah, and it's so cool because my father's first hit is a song called Papa Kehte Hain Bada Naam Karega, and here I am trying to
Yeah.
make a name for myself.
You've already made a name for
Yeah,
yourself.
but
Too humble.
but
also.
I approach every day like it's my first day, and that's how I feel like I'm always hungry for good work. And my father's boots, proverbially, I mean, size-wise they're the same, but they are very big boots to fill.
Yeah, sure.
And I feel equally grateful that life has presented me with the opportunities to kind of, you know, show what I'm capable of. I'm sure there are a lot of talented people in this world who work as hard as I do, or maybe harder, but they don't have the opportunity that I have or that I got. So I feel very grateful that I got the opportunity to be working at such a young age, and I've got to do so much, you know.
Yeah.
I've just entered my
Yeah.
mid 30s, and I've already had, this is my 28th year working, and you know, people still look at me like a youngster, like, you know, someone who's just started off, and I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I wish it's like this for another 28 years.
Well, you have all this experience, but you're young.
Yeah, and I
Because
think-
you started young.
Yes, but I feel like, you know, destiny has a very large part to play in all of this. I'm not your average 34-year-old guy. I'm like a 34-year-old with 28 years of experience.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. You know, not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
Thank you to my fans and the audience.
Would you mind singing just a little bit of any Bollywood song?
Sure. राम जी की चाल देखो, आंखों की मजाल देखो, करे ये धमाल देखो, अरे दिल को तुम संभाल देखो, अरे चाल देखो, ढाल देखो, रगों में उबाल देखो, ओ देखो देखो देखो, तत्तड़ 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 तत्तड़.
Wow! You did not breathe like at all through that. It was amazing!
I have decent pair of lungs.
Yeah. Na 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 na. Ta 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 ta.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes!
Not bad.
Thank you so much for joining us
It's
here
my pleasure.
today. This has been absolutely incredible. I really appreciate it. So thank you.
It's my pleasure, and next time when you come to India, it'll be my dad and me together.
Yes, I
for
would
sure.
absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Would you mind saying to camera, just introduce yourself and say I'm BakBakW with Bollygirl.
I'm what? Fucking.
BakBakW. Oh God.
I swear to God, that's what it sounded. I'm like,
I don't know.
what show have I just shot for? I'm
BakBakW.
bucking with
Yeah.
Bollygirl.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Has no one misinterpreted
Nope, you're the
this
first.
one so far? It's just my ears. That's not my ears. Probably my brain. Hi, this is Aditya Narayan. I'm fucking with Bollygirl. Oh man. Your most viewed episode so far. Anyway, let's go. Namaste, this is Aditya Narayan and I'm bucking with Bollygirl.